Oh, hello, and welcome to episode 8 of the Video Game Loser Show. I am here with...
Killing.
And of course, I am Dirt, and today we've got some fascinating things to talk about. We've got a lot of news. We've got some game releases. I think that's what your paper is, isn't that?
Nope.
Is that game releases?
Nope.
Oh, that's a takeout menu. Oh, we're getting Chinese food. Rock. And then we've got fan corner questions at the end. And of course, don't forget, if you want to leave us a voicemail... Oh, we have a voicemail, too. If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can do that by calling 217-953-4025. You can send an email to killin@popculturenetwork.com or dirt@popculturenetwork.com. Or, as always, come to popculturenetwork.com and join the forums. There's lots of neat people. They want to meet you, talk to you. Well,
and it's free.
And it's free.
Best thing about the internet.
All right, first up, PlayStation Vita has been torn down, and apparently it uses a new modular design that makes it easy to swap out pieces. So repairs, upgrades, perhaps, hacks will be very simple and easy to do. And it kind of seems dangerous, though.
What you mean dangerous?
Like for people to start, busting through, hacking it, figuring out ways to load games.
That's what people do, man. They buy them and they strip them down, and they're like, I don't know.
From our point of view, it's great because we're always repairing handheld systems, and you open a DS Lite and springs and stuff, come flying out,
explodes. Yeah.
So that'd be nice for us, but it just seems like.
Well, yeah, and if they're going to do that, then I guess they have plans maybe for expansion, which is great because they are very proprietary. So for them to do something like this, it makes it seem like they're either sick of having to repair by systems themselves, or they have some big plans in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah, it may just be that when they come out with some sort of upgrade in the future, they can still use this basic design, pull out one part, put another part in, and then charge you another $400. So that's always a possibility. So anyway. All right. Rare Skylanders sold on eBay for more than $1,000.
How's it rare? It just started. 6
rare Skylanders. There are gold and silver variants. They're like chase pack variants.
Okay.
This guy found 6 of them. He said that they were perfect. No creases on the cards. No bent corners. Nothing like that. So he put all 6 of them online in a lot. They sold for 797, I guess it's British pounds, which equals about $1,200 US. So,
wow.
Gold versions of Chop Chop, Flame Slinger, and Drill Sergeant, and silver versions of Eruptor, Boomer, and Dino Rang.
That's a little... Well, not so much. They gave out a version at Toy Fair this year, and that thing is selling for about $300 to $400 by itself. It was just a handout. You just had to be there at the event to get it.
It's kind of like the Battle Beasts from last year.
Yeah, well, not that crazy, though. These prices are insane, but Skylanders... People are nuts about it. It's a new Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and I just picked it up this past weekend, which is technically 2 days from now, because we record this early. But at the time they're watching it, I just got it, and I must say it's great. Glad I went and picked that up this past weekend. So.
What, your future talking about you picking it up?
Yep.
Okay. It's great. You love it.
I picked it up on Saturday, but that's after. So anyway, or before, whatever. Time travel. Man, this is tough. 1.21 gigawatts. All right, 3DS. We've been talking a lot about the woes of the 3DS and the sell-through, but apparently the 3DS has now sold better in its first year than the Game Boy Advance. So, Game Boy Advance, let's see, where is that here? Game Boy Advance had 5 million after 58 weeks on sale. The DS has 5 million after 56 weeks on sale. And so that puts the 3DS... 3DS did it. DS was 56 weeks. The 3DS is done after 51 weeks. So the 3DS broke the 1-year barrier. The DS took longer than a year. The GBA took a little bit longer than that. So.
And that's global or just in...
In Japan.
In Japan. So that means everybody in Japan owns one, basically.
Well, they came out with a new Mario Kart, so, I mean, that's... And there's a Pokemon, right?
5 million units in Japan, it means, on this island of Japan, okay, means everybody owns one.
Well, there's more than one island, right?
Well, whatever. Let's not get technical, okay? This isn't,
They are an island
geography.
nation.
I'm just saying that it's a smaller landmass, and if they can sell 5 million units in just that area, you got to imagine just about like 1 in 4 people have to have one, I would guess.
So basically, it breaks down that in the first year of sales, the 3DS is now the top selling system. The Game Boy Advance is the next selling system, then the Wii, then the DS. So, with as much as the Wii has sold, its first year it did not sell as well as the Game Boy Advance or the 3DS.
Weird.
Yeah. It's not what I would have thought. But, sure enough, that's what you get. Alright, Double Fine Adventure. We talked about Double Fine Adventure before. They had it on Kickstarter. They wanted $400,000. They got that in about 8 hours. After about a week, they had like $1 million. Now there are, let's see, at the time of that you're going to be watching this show, there's going to be like 15 days left. They've already surpassed $2 million.
Wow.
Right. So about halfway through, $2 million on what they originally wanted $400,000 for. I think the game is a hit, and it hasn't even been made yet.
And somebody's getting hella paid.
Somebody is. Hey, Dave, you still doing that background music? Well, I'm getting paid $200,000 for it now, so hell yeah, I'm doing background music. I mean,
what do they do with that money, really? Somebody goes right in your pocket, I guess.
I mean, maybe with every Steam download copy, you get, like, I don't know, every other game on Steam. So it's like, congratulations, here's the entire library. I mean, I don't know what else they can do, you know?
Yeah, just I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, because I know they have to give a percentage of that money to Kickstarter for funding,
right,
doing the thing, but it's like, where's the rest of that money go?
I mean, I guess they're gonna have like Sean Connery doing the voiceovers or something. I mean,
yeah, I guess you just make it bigger and better.
Just who knows? But be interesting. WWE WrestleFest is now available on the iOS devices like iPad and iPhone, be coming to PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, and Android, as well as your PC in the coming months. Basically, they took the old WWF WrestleFest arcade game and they updated it with some shinier graphics and a whole new roster with guys like Randy Orton. They put some older guys like The Rock and Stone Cold. There's guys like Macho Man in there. So basically everybody from the history of WWE. And you can now replay that classic game pretty much on, well, just right now on iDevices, but by the end of this summer, pretty much on any device that can play games.
That game was the best.
That was a fun game.
That was the best.
That was a really good game. And
that's gotta be like one of my favorite wrestling games.
That set the tone for wrestling games for a long time. It took a long time. It took until basically the dawn of the 3D era until that changed. So the app is available in 2 different flavors. There's a free ad-supported version and a $2.99 premium version without ads. So I don't know, $2.99 seems pretty pricey.
Really? I paid $3 for that game.
I'd pay $6.
Oh, can you take that price and double it?
Hey, here's an extra $1. Say hi to your mother for me. All right, Sony. They found out there's a patent from Sony for a camera that can sense 3D space, much like the Kinect. Apparently, they actually filed for this patent several months ago, but it's just now coming to light. So, of course, everyone's like, oh, they're jumping on the Kinect bandwagon, but apparently it's something that's been internally developing for quite a while. It's just now kind of getting out. They didn't rush to put it out to market ahead of everybody else. It's unknown if this is for PlayStation 3 or the now rumored PlayStation 4, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, but that is pretty interesting. Also, they've updated their patent for a new backwards compatibility adapter. And this is an adapter that would plug into a console. It will have the older processor and sends the signals to the older compatible processor and then sends the signals back to the new machine, with the idea being, it seems, that you'd once again be able to play PlayStation 2 games on your PlayStation 3 thanks to this external adapter. So, just have to see how that works out. Now, there are some people speculating that this could be an adapter for the Vita to play your PSP UMD games, but I'm putting the percent chance of that at about 2. 2% chance this is a UMD adapter for your Vita. More likely this is PS2 on your PS3.
So what you're saying is there's a chance.
There is a chance. Just like our love. Starhawk Beta is now completely public. I've been playing this game since like December, and it's a load of fun. If you played the Warhawk game on PlayStation 3, it's similar to that, except bigger in scope. You can do a lot more flying around and traveling in between places. The game will be coming out in May. It'll be running, full release, $60. But right now, you can get in on the multiplayer beta. It's well worth checking out. A lot of fun. Capcom, Namco, and Sega walk into a bar. That bar happens to be the 3DS. They are working on a game together that they have not said what it is, but they have a teaser website touting the fact that the three of them are in fact working together. Usually when Namco and Capcom do these team-up type games, they end up being fighting games. Mm-hmm. So the question is this going to be some sort of Street Fighter meets Tekken meets Sonic All-Stars?
What if it's a Voltron fighting game?
Well, I don't think it'd be Voltron's THQ.
Oh, I'm sorry, Power Rangers.
Oh, that is Bandai. Yeah. Namco,
Same
Bandai.
Same thing.
So,
Power Rangers, Voltron, same thing.
Yeah, you're right. They stole it from Voltron. Could be Power Rangers versus Street Fighter versus Sonic. Or something. But still, for the 3DS, of all places. So if you're going to take three of the biggest game companies in Japan and have them work together, 3DS is probably not the system you'd think of first. But apparently it's the one they think of first.
Well, somebody said, hey, we have money, and I want our 3DS to not fail.
And what they should do, they should fund it on Kickstarter, apparently. We need $1 million. Yeah, here's 9.
I'm going to use Kickstarter for anything. I need groceries this week. I raised $42,000.
Actually, I did look through Kickstarter at the unfunded projects, the projects that didn't make it. There was one guy who was trying to make a movie about a suburban mom who becomes like some sort of robotic commando. He wanted $20 million. Didn't get it. Didn't get $20 million for his movie.
$20 million? Come on.
For his movie.
Was it legitimate?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, he had, the everything for Kickstarter, all concept artwork and everything like that put together.
That doesn't even sound like a good story. Was he gonna make Suburban Commando Mom Part 2?
Why? Who wouldn't? I mean, come on, that's money right there. Word is coming out that Nintendo is apparently in talks to get television on your Wii U system. Right now, of course, on the Wii, you can get things like Hulu Plus and Netflix, same as you can on your 360 and your PlayStation 3. But apparently, there are two different rumors about the Wii U. The first one is, of course, they're looking at some other online video providers like Crackle, TV.com, places like that that have movies and TV shows. Well, probably not Pirate. But places that have streaming TV and video. But another rumor that's a little more interesting is that apparently they're in talks with Comcast to make the Wii U Comcast cable compatible. Meaning, instead of having the Comcast digital cable box, you would just hook your cable into the back of the Wii U, and then you'd be able to use the Wii as your cable box. And if that's the case, that's a whole different story on the Wii U.
Game changer.
That would be a big deal. That would be a big deal. So,
if I can get it to work with my DirecTV, I'll be happy.
Now, the 360 does have the deal with, I think it's Uverse. If you've got AT&T Uverse, and I don't know why you would, but if you do, you can get that through the 360 in certain markets. But I don't know, just the idea of the Wii U being a cable box.
A little weird.
And especially if, like, the tablet, you would have the tablet with all your TV listings, and you could just flip through. Oh, I want to watch that show. Doop, and then it changes the channel. Although what I did find out is Comcast, if you go to the Comcast website, you can flip through the TV channels, click the one you want, and if you've got a digital cable box or a cable card television, it will flip to that channel.
Through the website?
Through the website.
Weird.
Yeah, I was doing that the other day. The kids were watching something, and I was like, bloop, and they were like, oh, what happened? I was like, I don't know what happened. Yeah, you can totally just change it. It's awesome.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Somebody can hack your account and mess with your TV.
Well, but then you know your account's been hacked, and you need to...
or you just be freaked out and think you're haunted.
I think your house is haunted. There's been enough creepy things happening in your house.
There's a lot of creepiness going on in my house.
I think Legos have ghosts. Battlefield 3 Aftershock has been pulled from the App Store. Apparently this was supposed to be a huge release from EA. But once it went out onto the market, it got a 2.5 star rating. Apparently a lot of people just say it felt like it was a pre-alpha game. They felt like a lot of the gameplay was just broken. There was a lot of clipping, a lot of issues with shooting bullets, and it's not having any effect on people. So they just pulled the app from the store. They are not sure if it's going to return anytime soon.
That doesn't even make sense for an app anyway. A legitimate game like that, trying to play it on your phone. Come on, dude. You're trying too hard.
What if it's on your iPad?
We're not there yet. Okay? Keep trying. Go back to development.
Games like that don't make sense to me on touchscreen devices. Like, I hate when...
You
like,
just
especially
smack your phone? Like,
well, yeah, especially like iPhone. People are like, oh, look, you can have these games. There's like a little virtual joystick and buttons.
Yeah, that's too hard.
No, that doesn't work. That does not work. Never works.
You gotta be dedicated to use that.
Angry Birds, when you just go, whoop, that's fine. But trying to actually do real gaming on that thing, not worth it. All right, PlayStation 4. We have a rumor now for PlayStation 4. Apparently, employees that have left AMD have come forward to say that while they were at AMD, they were working on the new graphics chip for the PlayStation 4. I don't know. You're more of a PC guy than I am when it comes to gaming. Is AMD good anymore? I mean, does it make a difference? Because I remember the ATI or Nvidia was like the big thing for a long time.
AMD and Nvidia are the same company now.
What? Whoa, wait, what?
So that's what that means. It's not so much as AMD; it's Nvidia graphics will be now incorporated in the PS. If these rumors are true, that would be in the PS.
Wait, are you sure?
Yes.
You're positive?
Positive. They, I think AMD bought Nvidia about 2 years ago, maybe somewhere in there. So they now have a. Yeah, they're the same company now.
Nvidia, and Advanced Solutions for AMD. Oh,
yeah.
Whoa, weird.
Happened a while ago, but yep.
So well.
So now your PS4 might have Nvidia inside. Or something.
So Xbox 360 has AMD in it. The Wii and the Wii U both use ATI. So now PlayStation 4 going with AMD. I mean, does it really? Has ATI
Nvidia
fallen off? And
ATI has always been like Nvidia and ATI have always been like neck and neck, like Coke and Pepsi, basically. But Nvidia has always had an edge on ATI for whatever reason. They have better cards. They're a little more pricey, but performance-wise, they've always been a little bit better. Now they're comparable, but if you wanted the best, Nvidia, it makes sense that the Wii would use ATI. They're a cheaper. I mean, they're like kind of like processors. They had there was the Pentium, and then there was the Celeron, right? So, I mean, comparable, but one was clearly better. Nvidia is clearly better than ATI. Although I personally use ATI products more, just because they're cheaper. And you can boost and you can overclock your video cards to make them run a little bit better, but straight out of the box, Nvidia's are the name brand or the best, but they cost so much more. But
the ATIs have the sticker on them a lot of times. Like you buy the nice card and it's got the sticker of like the troll or whatever, like the big face on it.
See, that's the problem. ATI cards have been knocked off too, and other companies have used their graphics to help sell their knockoffs. So, and with Nvidia, that really hasn't been an issue. There you go. Now
so, all right then. Yeah, now I know. I'm still blown away. AMD and Nvidia are the same.
So it's just come on, Intel, go buy ATI, and they'll be all full on more.
Then finish it off. Finally, last piece of news. In the UK, a dating site for gamers has launched called Data Gamer. Easy enough.
Right.
They basically claim that they have over 150,000 profiles for single gamers available.
All dudes.
Actually, a writer on Kotaku, the game blog, went onto the website, set up a profile, started looking around, and he said it was mostly women aged 30 to 60.
What?
Yep.
I don't know about that. Well, they're probably playing Pogo or the Wii.
Or they're just looking for anybody.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah, I guess they figured there's a lot of dudes here.
There's going to be a lot of dudes gaming.
Sausage fest.
And that's the other thing, is he said a lot of the profiles didn't list anything about games. They didn't say like, oh, this is my favorite game or whatever. It's just supposed to be that you like games, so you would sign up there. But there's no game-specific questions on your personality profile. It's not like, you know, I'm a Metal Gear Solid and she's a Bejeweled, but yet we made it work. You know, it's not that type of thing, which I think it should be. I mean, that'd be even better. But apparently that's not what they went with. And that's their mistake.
Right.
I mean, that's where it fails right there. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the news. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, apparently we're going to be talking about Chinese takeout. So that'll be fun.
Mushu.
Be right back after this. Hey guys, Dirt here. Don't forget to check out the News Desk every Saturday on the Pop Culture Network. We're going to be talking about this week's releases of toys. If you want to know all the toy news of everything that's going on, that's ever been worthwhile, that's ever worth a penny of your hard-earned money, you're going to check out the News Desk, popculturenetwork.com. Every Saturday, make sure you check it out.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Video Game Losers. Now we're going to be talking about the latest releases for the last week of February. Ta-da-da.
Yay, last week of February.
Hey, just think, you get the extra day to play games all day.
Well, and also don't forget February 29th is Tron Day.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so up first we have, for the DS, we have a puzzle game here. It is Zuma's Revenge. Yay. How many times has Zuma's Revenge been released? I don't know, 1,000?
Well, no, I think Zuma has been released 900 times. Zuma's Revenge has only been about 100.
Okay, so what's the big deal? Well, you're going to get 60 adventure levels. You're going to have now 6 different boss battles you can do. They got new dungeons you can explore. And they also have a nice DS exclusive versus mode where you can do 3 different ways to battle somebody as you play the yet boring to me as can be Zuma time-wasting game. I mean, it was good back in the day when they were just developing these games, but it's gotten a little out of hand. I mean, you could play, I mean, don't get me wrong, I could play that game for an hour or two and just waste some time, like on my phone or something, or if I'm sitting waiting, but I'm definitely not going home going, yeah, let me get that Zuma Revenge in. It's just not happening. So there you go. That's coming out for the DS. Up next, we have on the PC, we got Deep Black Reloaded. Now, this is a game that's very similar to like a Gears of War style, third-person, shooting style game. Deep Black Reloaded is set in a desolate near-future world of global terrorism, Jesus, and espionage as players become involved in a desperate fight for world supremacy and the possession of a sophisticated biological weapon. Basically, you're in a near-distant future where...
Wait, so are you the terrorist?
No. You're like, I don't know, a ragtag group of rebels. So you're going out there and you're... Deep Black was already a PC. This is for the PC, by the way. This is was a shooter game. This is just the game redone. It's essentially like oil. Everybody needs oil. Everything's dirty in the future. Corporations and pollution taking over. It's that kind of environment.
Like Mad Max.
But yeah, and it's but still in a urban setting. You know what I mean? So it's still like in the cities. It's not that desolate.
It's like Soylent Green.
It's like, yeah, it's a little bit before it got to the point where it got to Mad Max. Okay, there's still some structure there. It's just everybody's
sucks.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Up next for the 360, we have NextWiz. NEXUIZ. I don't know even how to pronounce that.
Nexus.
It is a free multiplayer first-person shooter based on the Quake engine, a modified Quake engine.
Wait, the original Quake engine?
A modified Quake edition. But yes, basically, it's free. You go to Xbox Live and download it, starting on February 29th.
Ooh.
And if you just want a fun little shoot-'em-up game that you play with other people, there it is. Doesn't cost you nothing.
Great. That'd be fun to play.
Up next for the PC, we have The New Guys, Day of the Jackass.
What?
The New Guys. The New Guys.
It is DA. Yes, indeed.
It's a point-and-click adventure, and it's a throwback to its different comedy games. It's like done in a real weird, crazy, like web animation style. Just a fun point-and-click adventure that's funny.
Is this on Steam?
I couldn't find where it's going to be located, but I did go to their website, the publisher that's actually making it, and if you pre-order it, you can download it, or you can download it off their website for $9.99. If you were to buy a retail version, it would cost you about $19.95. So this is one of the few times where if you download a game, you're actually going to save money versus buying it.
Wow.
So I don't know,
Yeah.
fun little game.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll probably have to try that.
It's based on his old, just ridiculous '90s point and click comedy games like Full Throttle. If you remember that game.
Plus, while you're there, you can pick up Super Jazz Man. He's a superhero with a saxophone.
Whatever, dude.
All right.
Up next for the PC and Mac, because
Mac gamers, so both of them need a game. Yeah.
We got a game called Wakfu. 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 It sounds like a custom.
I was going to say.
Yes, I did. It's a massively multiplayer online fantasy adventure game with a tactical combat system and anime style, and it is published by Square Enix.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just an online RPG. Not online RPG, but an online RPG with the action,
right.
With the tactical combat system, like take turns stuff. So I don't know if you're into that kind of game. This one is kind of a weird one, but it's published by Square Enix, and they generally do a very good job on those games. So if you're used to that kind of game, you know what kind of quality you're going to get here. So there's just yet another anime-style RPG out there for you guys who have just completed the latest one.
Do you have a price on that?
No, couldn't.
Because I'm curious on that one.
It's a PC one. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It'll be all.
It might be $29.95 or something.
It'll be probably $10 to $30 in that range.
Right.
Let's see. Up next, we have SSX. SSX. The very classic game that you've seen 1,000 times on almost all the systems. Now for the PS3 and 360, they're relaunching the title and just simply calling it SSX again, restarting the number system.
I love that game.
$59.95, major full release. Should find it at major retailers. It is a modern-day reinvention of the most critically acclaimed arcade franchise of all time. So now, what's great about this game is not only is it updated and more modern, but you can go all the way around the world in different mountains and do the snowboarding.
I'm sorry. Did you say that's the most critically acclaimed arcade franchise of all time?
That's what it says.
The most critically acclaimed arcade franchise of all time.
That's what it says.
Is SSX.
That's what they label it as.
EA
claims that is the most critically acclaimed
arcade franchise.
Arcade franchise.
Of all time.
Of all time.
I'm going to call shenanigans on that one.
Well, EA says you are a liar.
Well, I'm going to be on their death list.
Here's basically the deal. There's about 9 different locations across the world where you can go and snowboard. Getting rid of all the walls. There's no more...
bumping into the...
stuff. That's gone. Open world environment. Completely massive levels and maps. So, I mean, eventually you're going to hit a wall, but it's going to be an invisible wall, and it's going to take forever to get to it. So they pretty much gave you full range run. Also, what's great about this game is they're incorporating social media into the game, so you can be like, oh, I just accomplished this, and stream it out to your Facebook or to their various websites so other people can see your accomplishments and whatnot.
Huh.
So it's one of the first few major retail games coming out now that's starting to do the social media thing, and finally in SSX, you could tell your friends how awesome you are at snowboarding online.
Well, all right.
So there's that. There that is. Up next for the 360, we have Country Dance All-Stars.
Yes!
This is a Kinect game. It's going to retail at major retail for about $40.
Country line dancing?
Basically, yes. It's just like the other All-Star dancing games, but this time it's themed totally country.
Nice!
It's got all your favorite country chart toppers.
All of my favorites.
Like, don't go stomping in the cornfield without your boots. You know that one?
Is that an actual song?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Could be.
I know 3 country songs.
It might be.
They're all by Johnny Cash.
I don't know. Whatever.
All right.
Up next for the PS3, we have Hyper Dimension Neptunia MK2.
Oh, sure.
Which is a sequel to the game of the same name, minus the MK2.
Wasn't MK1?
It is a fantasy RPG. Basically, you're going to get a bunch of new main characters as well as returning characters from the previous one. The gameplay has been updated to include more random events. There's a new maps, a brand new world feature as well, and cutscenes have been upgraded to 3D from the old 2D graphic novel version. You're going to have an all-new free roaming style system and combo attack system. You're going to have a kind of a comedy-based storyline going on here. Improved interfaces and HUDs now going to be there. Improved visual enemies and map viewing. Multiple endings, over 50 hours of gameplay, so you should get a lot of use out of this. And you're going to get all these great characters that will appeal to many of you anime hardcore fans out there.
What about us non-hardcore anime fans?
That's not for you.
What if I'm a soft-core anime fan?
Then this is not for you. Okay, so there's that game. I don't know, another anime RPG.
It's just what gamers have been waiting for.
They come out like constantly. Like, I mean, here in the U.S. we don't get that many of them. I mean, Japan gets like 3 a day.
Korea gets like 10 a day.
But
and I'm still playing Maple Story.
Up next for the 360 and PS3 is another major release game for $60. It is Binary Domain. Now, Binary Domain is an original squad-based shooter by Toshihiro Nagashi.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Who is the creator behind the Yakuza series.
Oh, okay.
He created Yakuza. Well, now this is the original squad-based shooter by him that he made himself. It is very much similar to a Gears of War. It looks just like that same style of third person, but in that type of world and environment. And it has a lot of mix of the Yakuza game in the later one, like 3 and 4, into the actual gameplay itself, because you're going to be driving a little bit and you're out and you're shooting. So it's kind of like a semi-Grand Theft Auto style, but more Gears of War in the actual world. So, I mean, not so like linear like this, but
kind of like Pretty Woman meets the Mothman Diaries.
Like a shoulder cam, kind of. Somebody following you with the camera like that. So, kind of cool. But that is major retail. Should be all major vendors. $60. Blah, blah, blah. Up next for the PC, we have 7554. That's all I'm going to say about that. Up next, okay, 7554 is the first major video game
from Tommy Two-Tone?
From Vietnam.
Oh, from Vietnam.
Yes, they have made their own game. The very first major retail that's coming out of that country, a game that has been published. It is, guess what kind of game it is? 7554.
It is a RTS.
First person shooter. It's Vietnam. Come on. It's Vietnam. Really? What else are they going to make? So
maybe they're sitting playing Warcraft 2 all day and they make their own.
It looks okay. It looks like a Call of Duty or Medal of Honor, but I would say it's more like a Medal of Honor versus Call of Duty. It doesn't have that kind of budget. It definitely doesn't have that kind of like looking game style. It looks like more of like a PS1 Medal of Honor style. So
what does 7554 stand for?
That's like the name of the military unit or whatever.
Because I'm thinking in my mind, like on a calculator, you turn it upside down, you know.
I mean, that's what I'm guessing what that number is because, you know, of course, through all the art, it shows just a bunch of, like a small unit of soldiers. That makes the most sense to me, so I'm pretty sure that's the unit number. But, hey, Vietnam, there you go. You got your first game out there, finally. Welcome to the civilized world.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that's killing at popculturenetwork.com.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, most of these countries by now should have a major, you know, title of some sort out.
Oh, it's so cute.
Okay, up for the 3DS, we have Rhythm Thief and Emperor's Treasure. It is a major retail game for $39.99. Basically, this is a rhythm-style adventure game, very similar to like
Parappa the Rapper.
Yes.
Oh, this is on the 3DS.
3DS, but it's
done.
But it's more like animate people versus like animals.
Yeah, whatever.
And but it's exactly like that. And you're not only are you doing like the little like battles and the thing, but you're also moving around like doing action scenes using the rhythm system. So.
Wonder if there's a demo out for that. I need to check that one out.
Yeah, it's great animal, just like Private Rapper anime style, but more in an open world environment too. So that's
punch, kick, chop, punch, kick, chop.
Yeah,
chop, chop, punch. Chop,
those
chop,
games
punch.
are always fun.
Yeah,
and they're hilarious.
Yeah,
so, there you go. Up next, we have for the PC the Lord of the Rings Online Mithril Edition. Now is a massively
multiplayer
RPG, right? Now you're like, okay, so why is it called Mithril Edition? Well, you know, of course, the other one's already out. This upgraded version is like a collector's edition, and you're going to get a bunch of in-game content, including you're going to get an exclusive steed. Cool. You're going to get mount travel as early as level 5. You're going to get a bonus quest to forge your own legends, and let's see. I'm trying to find something special here. It includes the Troll Shawls, Aragon, Mines of Moria, and Lothrien 2,000 turbine points towards your experience, with 2,000 more points to spend in the middle of Earth to buy, of course, gear and mounts.
Customize your character.
Right. So you're going to get a bunch of like bonus points that I guess you guys use to, I don't know, I haven't played this game online, I'm not really sure how it works, but I guess that's like their...
experience points or something?
Yeah, well, I don't really know how the point system works in this game. If it's a micro, like, you know, machine...
Microtransaction?
Yeah, right.
Micro machines?
Those might be the... I'm sorry, I had this on my mind. But yeah, that's basically what you're going to get there. You're going to get a bunch of bonuses. If you haven't bought this game yet and you want to get into it, because you know Lords of the Rings is now back on the rise with the movie coming out and you know different toys coming back to the. You might want to jump in and get the Mithril edition. It'll get you a little bit more of an edge on the existing players.
All right then.
So there you go. Now for the PS3 and 360, we have Mortal Kombat Complete with a K edition.
Ooh.
Now, this game is the same game that's already been released, but includes all the downloadable content on 4 disc. You're going to get the Warriors. I'm sorry, not 4 discs, but there's 4 Warriors coming, which you get the Freddy Krueger, Freddy Krueger that was on there, the Scarlet, the Kenshi, and the Rain. And you get the 15 classic skins for the movie. You get the movie, you get the music, downloadable content. And you get a 1 new track Mortal Kombat movie. I don't know what that means. So you get a bunch of like videos, music, downloadable content. Pretty much everything they've released so far for the game and popped it on 1 disc. You know what these are. They're just re-pops of the same game. So if you've thought about buying the game right now, it's used about $35, $40. But if you want to get the game with all that content, which exceeds the $60 mark, you might just want to spend $60 and get that as a complete setup.
Yeah. I can see that.
Up next, for the PS3 and 360, and this will be a digital download.
Nice! Oh!
This will be a digital download. Sorry, something just went down. It is the Black Knight Sword. And the Black Knight Sword is a 2D side-scrolling platformer, which is like playing a Metal Slug style game, but instead of shooting, it's a knight with a sword.
Huh.
Similar to like a Magic Sword arcade game, but it's very much in the style of Metal Slug.
So kind of like Ghosts and Goblins, maybe?
Kind of fun anime, hyper anime style with a bunch of like comedy and blood and just ridiculousness. That's what you're going to get with Black Knight Sword.
The ridiculousness is what sells me.
Oh yeah. Okay, so up next we have Devil Survivor 2.
No. What's the full name?
Well, that's the U.S. name. I guess the Japanese name would be Shin Megami Tensei.
Really? Is that how you say it?
Anyway, it's for the DS. It's another role-playing game, turn-based RPG, similar to the Shining Force series, if you remember that back from the Sega Genesis and similar systems back then, Sega CD. It's a RPG that when you go into battle, you take your turns, you move, they move, you move, and then you go to the classic RPG style where you take turns attacking each other. This game's been done a million times. Well, here's just another updated, revamped version of that. So, it should be fun. Keep you busy. And finally, we have Poke Park 2, Wonders Beyond, for the Wii.
Yes!
So, as a major retail for $50, you're going to get a game that's basically Pokemon, but instead of playing as the actual Masters or whatever they're called, you're going to play as the actual Pokemon this time. You're going to play as Pikachu, and his pals Ozawa and Shivy and Tipig. And let's see, I'll read what it says here. You're going to use them in their unique abilities to make it through Poke Park. Save the missing Pokemon and discover the secrets of a mysterious new world. Along the way, Pikachu and his pals encounter and befriend many Pokemon from the Omvola region and beyond who help the Pikachu along the way. Experience the fun activities, battles, attractions, and more on your quest. Plus, you can enjoy attractions in a single-player mode or challenge family and friends in a multiplayer mode. Use the Wii Remote Controller in all new sorts of ways when playing attractions, boss battles, and more. And so it's theme park meets Pokemon, and you play the Pokemon.
Since I have a son, I can tell you that it's Oshawott, Snivy, and Tepig.
Oh, okay.
So
that's what I said.
Yeah. So anyway.
Whatever. That game is coming out for the Wii for $50. It's a Pokemon title.
It's going to sell like hotcakes.
It demands a premium.
So we'll get it in 2 years when it drops to $39.99.
That, my friends, is all your games coming out.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break to reset our lighting and pick up all the knives on the floor.
Yeah, avalanche. A little bit of an avalanche.
A little bit of a problem over there, but not that big of a deal. Anyway, when we come back, we've got some fan corner questions and we have a voicemail. So good times for that. Do we have a prize this week?
Sure.
Sure. We have another prize to give away this week. So good stuff there. We'll be back right after this.
Hey guys, thank you for watching our videos on the Pop Culture Network. We do hope that you will help support us by visiting shoppcn.com, where you'll find all these amazing toys, comic books, DVDs, video games, random geek goodness, all brought to you at an incredibly great price. Every dollar you spend helps contribute to the Pop Culture Network.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show here. We've picked up and reset a little bit now, and we can continue on. There are no more lives in danger from flying blades. And plus, Killen's leg was asleep, so we had to get him up and moving to get it working.
Move, blood flow.
So
it's very important.
Very important.
Duck and move.
So anyway, welcome to the fan corner section now. We've got your questions and comments. Do you want to start with the voicemail or save the voicemail for the end?
Whatever.
Fair
I'm
enough.
riding shotgun here. You just go. You're the driver.
You're riding shotgun. All right. Let's go ahead and listen to this voicemail then. I don't know who it's from, but I'm sure he says.
Hey guys, it's Pirates Masquerade. Just a quick question, surprisingly. I was just wondering, what would be, if you guys had to choose, what would be your all-around favorite video game of all time? Surprisingly, that's the quickest question I've ever had. The shortest, whatever. So, if you guys can answer that, I thank you, and if not, I thank you anyway. So, thanks, bye.
Very polite young man. I like that boy. He's a good boy.
He's all right.
He's a good boy.
I don't care what he says about you. He's all right.
All right, so favorite all-around game of all time. One of those games you could pretty... I'd say Tron, but I think you probably know that. So I could say Discs of Tron, but then you'd probably still know that. So I'm going to try to think of something else. You know, actually, a game that I spent a whole lot of time on, and one of those games that at least like once a year or whatever, I have to dig out the system, plug it back in, make sure it works, and play this game is Eternal Champions, Challenge from the Dark Side on Sega CD. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite all-around game of all time, but it is a game that every so often I feel the need to, like, I have to play it.
That's what he asked. So what is your favorite all-time game?
I have to put it, well, because, I mean, I don't know if I can really, you know, Tron, Disc of Tron, how do you choose, right? So, we'll go with Eternal Champions Challenge of the Dark Side on Sega CD, because I do legitimately, like, once a year, I have to, you know, pull out the Sega CD, pull out the Genesis, you know, make sure they're working, make sure the controllers work, put in that game, and play it for like 3 or 4 days. Until I burn through, like, all the characters, all the fatalities, all of the overkills, and sudden deaths, and Cinekills, and everything else in that game, and then I can put it away, and I'm you know, then a year later off to... If that's a game, if they ever re-release that on, like, a virtual console or PS3 download or something like I would... $29.99 for this download. Yep, I'd buy it. Sega CD game. What about you?
My favorite game is from the early 90s from Microprose. It's a PC game. It is Master of Magic. It is by far my favorite game of all time. And here's the thing about this. It's so old now that it's freeware. You can find it online, but you'd have to like download like DOSBox to play it. If you play... I don't like playing on DOSBox at all. I had to find an old computer to run it because... Early on, when I got this game, when I was a teenager, I figured out a in-game like exploit that allows you to craft an item that gives your heroes like unlimited power, like gives them like incredibly high strength and armor and defense. And when you have this item, you can run around the world freely and take over the dungeons and actually develop your cities, because it's like a open game where you develop towns and build them.
Like Masters of Orion.
No, Masters of Orion is way different. But yeah, I guess, but not space. But you're a caster, and you're a wizard, and you find books of magic, and in these books are different spells you can learn. And when you learn these spells, you can cast them against other wizards or their troops or like the cities that are developing. So it's kind of like you're a hero yourself, but you're not in the world. You're just overseeing the world, and the enemies. There might be 4 other wizards out there who have own cities too, and they're developing them. And then when you attack, your troops and their troops fight each other, but you can throw spells into the battles, and so can their enemy wizards. So it's a really fun game. It's great. It's super old. I really wish somebody would go and redo it. But definitely my favorite game. I played that game, I don't know, probably 600 hours or more. And I love it. It's one of those games you can play over and over and over, and it'll be different all the time. So there it is, Master of Magic.
All right then. We have a follow-up from a question from last week. Nasty Will said he was getting a Vita for his birthday. His birthday's on the leap year. We had asked about leap year birthdays. When my birthday does not show up, I always do it on the 28th. That's how my mom had it for me when I was growing up. And he says he's just getting the Wi-Fi version of the Vita. He's not paying for the data plan for the 3G version. So there you go. Follow up to that one. For everyone who was freaking out, wondering why Nasty Will was getting it, how he celebrates his birthday, whether or not he's getting the data plan, now it's taken care of.
Well, thank God, because I was curious.
All right. Deadman2099 says, I was watching the vids from Toy Fair. Did I hear that Killin had never played Pac-Man? Killinism or truth? I could hardly believe that.
Okay, so the story goes, we're in the Bandai booth, and they're not showing us anything new, really, for the toys that were supposed to be there. And all of a sudden, they had one of those plug-and-play controllers where you plug in a TV, and it's like a classic game. It was Pac-Man. And the guy's like, so, who here hasn't played Pac-Man? And, of course, you know...
Everybody's
Danny's like... Danny and Rob Ace, who was with us, said, oh, Killen's never played Pac-Man before. He goes, really? I was like... I looked at him like, really? Like, are you serious? And he looked at me like, yeah, you really haven't? I was like, nope, never played it. So if you watch that video, there I am playing, and I'm playing terrible too because, well, at first I'm like, well, I'm really going to screw with this guy. So I'm like, he's trying to explain to me how to play Pac-Man. And I'm like, oh, I got eight. But honestly, it was a piece of crap because the controller was so loose that if you wanted to go up, you'd have to like really rock it up. And I was like, dude, this thing sucks. You know, why is it here?
Those plug-and-play games are notoriously cheap.
Yeah, really... which is great because he's like trying to show us, and they had it hooked up to a big old screen. And I'm just sitting there playing it like, you got to be kidding me. Who hasn't played Pac-Man? I challenge you to find somebody who hasn't played Pac-Man. That's how terrible it is. My grandma's played Pac-Man. Come on.
You mean living? Because I don't think Abraham Lincoln ever played Pac-Man.
Well, obviously. Well, I'm sure he did. Similar style. Maybe it was called something else.
Well, maybe when he was out hunting vampires, he may have found a copy of the game. All right, SpiderFan05. Yo, Killing and Dirt.
Yo.
Are there any comic book properties you would like to have made into a game Arkham Asylum style? I know this may sound obvious, but personally, I'd love to see a next-gen Spidey game. Did I do this question? No, this is a new question. All right. I would love to see a next-gen Spidey game similar to the one that was released for the PlayStation in 2001 and has the gameplay mechanics of Asylum. So, a comic book property into the Arkham Asylum. Of course, Spider-Fan wants Spider-Man. They did have the Activision to those games early on where they used... they actually used the Tony Hawk engine, of all things, to make those Spider-Man games.
They were fun for a short period of time.
Yeah. The big problem with that, though, is you fall and you go too far down and you just splat. You're dead. Which, like, because Spider-Man can't throw out a web and save himself? Apparently not. But a comic book property turned into that big style. Because there are, comic
I would like to see a Punisher game where, in that style, real dark and gritty, but, like, straight up just murdering people.
Right.
Like, no consequences. You walk in there and you know you're supposed to kill everybody and you kill them. And you don't just kill them by shooting. You kill them by the most ridiculous means possible.
Because it would need to be something with a strong central character, but they can't be too strong. Something like Superman obviously doesn't work in video games. Never has. Except on the Atari 2600, I guess that one was
because they put limits on him, and there should be no limits. Yeah, I love the Punisher idea. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, if you can always look at the Marvel side and just be like, well, Moon Knight's basically their version of Batman, so you could just do a Moon Knight game and it'd be the same game just with a different skin. Really that kind of works. I think they could do a Turtles game justice. If they did it that style. And just, at certain points you would switch between the different turtles. But I think more or less that would be alright.
Yeah.
That could work the same way.
Yeah.
And you get different mechanics from the different weapons and things like that. And Donatello would do more puzzle solving, and Raphael would just have more beat 'em up stuff to do. And so I think that would work overall.
As long as they cussed.
Wow, really?
Yeah, my games need to cuss.
Yeah.
I honestly, I can't. I have a hard time playing games that are like not cussing at me. Don't know why. Just do.
If that game doesn't swear at me, it doesn't care. That game hits me because it loves me.
If I'm doing something wrong, I want to be cussed at and told I'm ridiculous. That's all I'm saying.
Dinobot says he's getting the subtle hint that Killen doesn't like the Vita.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on a new. You know what my problem is the PSP Go destroyed it for me. Like killed me off play the PSPs altogether. Like they're like, oh, here's this new system. It's great. You can download games. It's smaller, and while it was cool and it had a flip out thing, and it was like smaller, and it looked really nice, you just stole my ability to play games that I own, and that going forward will be the one thing that destroys me off of any systems. If you lose my ability to own physical copies and to be able to sell those physical copies, I will not buy your system. I will not.
And also the Go, because it was so small, it felt really cramped when you were trying to play it, and I felt it to be really uncomfortable. The Vita, on the other hand, is bigger, and they talk about how it's got the touch screen in the back, and now I'm just kind of thinking about this, bigger, gargantuan thing, and how it's going to incorporate touch on the back, and I'm really, like, it's one of those things that I'm going to have to sit down and hold one, and actually play it for a while before I can decide if it's anything I'm really going to be that bothered with, that I really want to spend some time with, because it just seems, and the same was with the 3DS. When people talking about the 3DS, like I had to actually play one and then go, okay, I kind of like this. This seems pretty cool, and then I ended up buying one. Vita is gonna have to. They're gonna have to sell me on it. I'm gonna have to hold one and play it, and until I can, I'm not that hip on it. But again, if I was having a birthday and someone was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you one," then great, I'd take it.
Yeah, I'd take it.
Yeah,
I'm
obviously.
spend my money on it. Yeah, and you know what, the Go, had they just added the ability to make it a cell phone, I probably would have been okay with that, because then I would have found more use for it. Because if it's just a standalone game, I'm not gonna play it. But if you put like a cell phone feature in there, and then I'll carry it with me all the time, then yeah, I'm probably gonna play it at some point.
I don't know, but I kind of want, like, I understand what you're saying about having to carry multiple devices. That is kind of a problem sometimes, but I don't like when I'm trying to do something on my phone, like, game or whatever, and I'm getting interrupted by phone calls. Like, I do want a separate device. Like, I don't want text messages, I don't want phone calls, I don't want stuff bothering me on the thing I'm trying to game on.
I don't play on that thing anyways. I mean, my phone, I don't play hardly any game. I tried a game out or two, but it's like, they suck right now. Like, the games are so simple and dumb that it's not even worth my time.
Now, I don't play on my phone as much now that I have my tablet. But even there, I'm carrying around two devices. I've got my tablet that I do, web browsing and gaming type stuff on, and then my phone is just for my phone, pretty much. So
I think I'm a game snob. Maybe that's the problem. Like, you spoiled me with the 360 and PS3, and as far as how great games can look and feel and how big they are, and then you shrink them all down to these terrible, like, simple games. Not that some simple games are terrible, because, I mean, look at Terraria. That was a simple game,
right.
And it was great. But most of those simple games just suck. They're for, like, casual players who are not really going to do anything but play it for, X amount of time and then give it up. I want a game where if I paid that big dollar tag for it, then I'm going to play for a long while. And I'm really sick of people putting out these games that I pay $60 for that I can beat in a day or two. Come on. Really? Super Nintendo games back in the day took me a month or so to beat. How come games now are beatable in a day or two?
Well, because they've got the online multiplayer.
Not that that has anything. Well, I don't want to play people online. People online suck and they cheat. So,
yeah, I mean, people who get their entertainment content from the internet are just, I mean, like, what's their problem?
Scabies.
All right, next up, Chaotix12345, not to be confused with Chaotix12344. He says, "Howdy, Dirt and most exalted Lord Killen." What?
Hey, man.
Whatever. I'm loving the new show so far. I'm a huge gamer. It's great to finally have a show that combines the fun of the It Figures podcast with a topic I'm extremely familiar with. What's the It Figures podcast?
It's the thing I do.
Vaguely recall.
The thing I do on my spare time.
I present 3 questions for your amazing answering abilities to sate.
Yes.
1. Has there ever been a game that has gotten universally mediocre or terrible review scores by major gaming sites that you're actually really enjoyed and will defend no matter what critics say? For example, I actually quite enjoyed Sonic and the Black Knight for the Wii, despite the critics, because of the great story, difficult yet satisfying gameplay, and rockin' soundtrack. A game that got panned that I really enjoyed.
I don't really pay attention to what critics say about the game, so that's a little hard for me. I love terrible games, though. Oh, Earth Defense Force. There you go. That game, everybody.
That got like a 2.9 out of 10.
Oh my god! But it was so ridiculously bad. It was fun because you were like, I gotta see what comes next. I played it knowing it was gonna be terrible, and I just wanted to see. I expected to play for 5 minutes maybe. Ended up playing for 4 hours straight. So I thought that game was fun. It was dumb. It was stupid, and you know. You're never going to play it again, but it was fun when I played it once through.
You know, actually, there is one particular game pretty much everybody seemed to hate. Universally, hands down, said it was dumb, it was too shallow, it was stupid, it was pointless, it was worthless. And it is one of my favorite Xbox 360 games of all time. And that is Sneak King, the Burger King inspired game. Because it's basically Metal Gear Solid, except you're delivering Whoppers to people. So basically, you're sneaking around things like a logging site, construction site, just these kind of random environments. And you see people starting to get woozy because they're hungry. And you got to sneak over to them without anybody else seeing you or any of the security monitors catching you. And then present them with their Whopper.
Hey, I got to tell you about that game. The best part of those Burger King games is the intros to them, where it's just the game title and the Burger King guys just sticking up and looking at you all weird and jumping away. To me, the Burger King face,
that King mask face,
cracks me up every time. I wish I had a Burger King mask that was really nice that I could wear. I'd wear it all the time.
I'm surprised, with as much as it happened in the 70s and 80s, that we never got the Turkish or Mexican slasher movie where the villain was wearing the Burger King face, but it's painted white or something. They always used to do that. There's the classic Spider-Man versus Captain America movie came out in Mexico where Spider-Man's the serial killer who's abducting women and killing them, and Captain America's got to save them. Total copyright infringement type of thing. There are all these Turkish movies where there are guys that RoboCop. It's a guy in a RoboCop outfit, but he's the bad guy shooting people, and they got to take him down.
Where are you watching your movies at?
Bootleg VHS tapes and YouTube.
Huh.
So, but I'm sad that we never got the Burger King slasher, the Whopper killer, the Whopper Walloper.
Ooh,
perhaps maybe.
I don't know. All I know is I want a suit. I want a life-size, nice.
With the ruffles and the velvet.
And I'd wear it in the store. I'd hide behind the counter. People would walk in the door, and I would just pan up.
Yeah, just slowly rise up.
And just look at them with that big old grin and not say nothing.
And the scary thing is,
freak them out.
If you wear a mask, they had the paper masks that you could get at Burger King for a while, and you'd put one of those masks on, and it has the big grin, and you'd find yourself grinning underneath. People would look at you, and you'd instinctively smile, forgetting that there's a giant smile on the mask. It was just, why did they ever get rid of that creepy, sneaky dude? That's a mistake. That's why I don't go to Burger King anymore. Bring back the King.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going back. All right, number 2. Disney's upcoming feature, Wreck-It Ralph, centers around a video game villain striving to become a hero so he can experience some of the glory that his foil, Fix-It Felix Jr., has always enjoyed. What's especially awesome about this film is that Disney is actually working with real video game companies to feature some of their iconic characters in it. For example, there's a scene where Ralph attends a support group with Bowser, Dr. Eggman, Dr. Willy, and Zangief. Or is it Wily? Willy? My question is, what other video game character cameos would you like to see in this film? Predicts that Dirt will say Tron because he's both a video game character and already owned by Disney. You took my answer.
I don't know. I would like to see a Duke Nukem.
In a Disney movie.
Yeah.
There's 2 jokes in that one then. You can get out of that one. Well, then why not have the Mortal Kombat guys running around the background?
I don't know. That upsets me a little bit. I don't even want to talk about that question anymore.
You don't want to see him in a Disney movie?
I don't know how this would work. I mean, the whole idea is stupid to me when they try to make a big deal about putting in characters from iconic games and then make it a big deal when the movie itself might be terrible.
But it's from Disney. How could it be bad?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like the idea of you selling me on incorporating extras as the main event versus the actual story of the movie.
What I would almost like to see is like the ghosts from Pac-Man, but have like 3 of them as ghosts and 1 is just the floating eyes. Like he wasn't fast enough and he hasn't had time to go home and change yet. I think that'd be a fun little joke they could throw in. Probably in the background of some scene or something, maybe.
Whatever. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks.
That's your answer. Jar Jar Binks. All right, Volume 3. Volume 3.
All right.
Because these are long questions. So this is the 3rd volume. Since there have been a lot of video game adaptations in both animation and film, some better than others, what specific game or game series would you like to see adapted? I've always wanted a Mario cartoon based on the more modern games like Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, or any of the Mario RPGs. A Mega Man cartoon that followed the games more closely and was more akin to the current Archie comic series. A Donkey Kong Country cartoon that featured more of the characters and animal buddies introduced after the first game. A Pokemon cartoon based on the Pokemon Adventures manga, and a Banjo-Kazooie cartoon. So, seen something adapted.
I would like to see the Romance of the Three Kingdoms franchise, which is an actual historical.
I'm pretty sure they have movies based on that.
They do have movies, and they actually have like a soap opera, kind of, Japanese soap opera that pretty much goes with those characters. I'd like to see a cartoon series, or a nicer U.S. friendly version of that show.
That explains the history a little bit more.
Yeah, because I always thought that I'm sorry, not Japanese, but Chinese. I always thought that Chinese history about their dynasties and all that was very interesting, and I love the Romance of the Three Kingdoms game series by Koei. So I would love to see that transition into either a cartoon or a major movie incorporating those characters, because basically how many Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three Kingdoms games have been out already, and it's the same story. It's historical. So I would love to see that, just because I'm so familiar with those characters and those people from history that I'd like to see more of them.
I think it'd be nice if they did like a live action movie, maybe based on Street Fighter, maybe one that centers around Guile, or even like if they were to do something about Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Maybe a live action movie about the rise of her. So I think either one of those would be good. I'd like to see that. Actually, what I'd really love to see is a Silent Hill movie that doesn't suck. Because it seems like the easiest thing for them to do.
I like the Silent Hill movie.
It's so bad.
I liked it.
To every child, mother is God. Like that was the effects were great.
It was creepy.
The effects were great, and especially when she's sitting there watching the world transform into the nightmare world, that was great.
And the nurses were creepy.
The nurses were creepy. The pyramid head monster when he grabs the chick and rips off her skin, and that stuff was cool. But the actual story,
the story sucked.
Exactly.
But I like the movie because of the visual
effects. Right, but I want to see one that the storyline doesn't suck. So if they could take the cool effects and everything they worked out from the first one, but just not have it be a turd of a story, I think that would be fantastic.
I don't think it was a turd story. It just wasn't.
I think it was a turd of a story.
It wasn't developed. It was pretty much look at the background, don't pay attention to what's really going on.
And it was a turd.
I liked it.
Well, of course you liked it.
Silent Hill. It was beautiful.
So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. That or Chun-Li. I think Chun-Li would make a good movie.
Yeah, it's super good.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the fan corner this week. Do we have a prize?
Yeah, we're giving away another Wario.
Oh, a Papercraft Wario.
Papercraft Wario.
Did you mail out the last one?
Yeah, it's in the mail.
Because I don't think I signed it, did I?
It's in the mail. As the time as you're watching this, it's shipping to John Prof.
Ah, I gotcha. Mm-hmm. All right. So, so Papercraft Wario. So, are we sending it to voicemail?
Let's see.
Chaotix 1 2 3 4 5. We got Spider-Fan 05. We got Dead Man asking you about Pac-Man. We had Dinobot, just wanted to make sure you didn't like the Vita.
Let's go with Chaotix 1 2 3 4 5.
Chaotix 1 2 3 4 5.
He's a long-time fan. He's been around forever. He deserves something.
All right,
we're going to send him some good questions.
Did have some good ones.
So we will be sending you a autographed papercraft Wario to you that you can construct yourself after you get it, and you can experience the fun and drama and trauma that comes with trying to put that thing together. I guess that really does it for us at the Video Game Losers. Be sure to visit us at videogamelosers.com for past and future episodes. And also, if you just go on to popculturenetwork.com and click on forums and go into the video game section and look in the subcategory of Video Game Losers, you can go there and post your questions and comments about our past shows and for the future upcoming fan corners where you yourself can win a prize.
Like also, what kind of spectacular prize?
We don't know. We'll let you know. Every week will be different. We still have a couple more of those papercraft Warriors to give out, and then we'll move on to something else. Also, if you want, you can send us an email at dirt@popculturenetwork or killing@popculturenetwork.com. You can give us a call on our voicemail at
area code 217-953-4025.
Be sure to keep your message under 30 seconds, and we'll be able to use it in a future episode. If you want to say something else crazy and long, by all means, but it probably won't be used in a future episode. Also, if you go to popculturenetwork.com and look on the front page, you'll see on either side a button that says Store. If you go there, you'll find our web store where we have over 20,000 different items in stock, including video games, comic books, toys, all the nerd fun stuff that you love every day. If you could, just go ahead and maybe purchase a few things and help the Pop Culture Network continue on with the shows.
Like great Mortal Kombat figures. Huh? Huh?
Every dollar there helps continue producing these shows and many others that you'll find at the Pop Culture Network. Anything else?
Don't forget, February 29th is Tron Day!
That's what I was waiting for. Alright guys, so until next Monday, I am Killen.
I am not.
And we'll see you again.
At the movies.
Or not.
With Ebert and Roper.